you guys are going to make me break a tie? This isn't fair.
You're the president. Want to think about it while I do my report?
What were you going to say before all that? No? You were going to say no. I could tell because you were upset that they're
I'm upset with PSBA, and it really grinds my gears the thought of giving them another dollar to but however.
We'll revisit it in a few weeks like Donna suggested.
But however, Jamie, this isn't cross-examination. You have to let So, my dilemma is our superintendent search consultants have suggested it as the place where you get the most applicants. We didn't use them last year, and I would like to see a bigger pool of applicants than we got the last time. So, as much as I hate it, I'm going to break the tie as a yes, and we're going to post it.
What did you say? You're going to break the tie? What did you say?
Yes.
Good evening, everyone. Just a few items to share. We will have early dismissals on Monday and Tuesday, November 24th and 25th for parent conferences. I'm challenging parents, don't be like my wife, and she thought we didn't need a conference because our kids were doing okay. I would submit to you that your kids spend a lot of time in the school with their teachers, and it's worth getting to know who is spending all that time with your kids and so on. So those parents who maybe haven't scheduled a conference yet, I would encourage you to schedule those. Students will be off starting on Wednesday the 26th and will return on Tuesday, December 2nd. Believe it or not, when we return, we'll be in December. I'm not sure what happened to November, but it's gone. With the colder weather, there's always a chance of a cancellation. We have communicated to our families the expectations for virtual learning days. We communicate how it works, access to the teachers, and how attendance is recorded. I thank the team for everything that we put on there. I think it really provides a lot of good information. I would like to recognize 3 of our outstanding teachers. Spencer Picard, am I pronouncing that correctly, Judy? Pecker, for being honored as the Harrisburg Area Community College Teacher of the Month. Adam Bish and William Lachlan, who were just recently recognized by the Shippensburg Study Council as our Teachers of the Year. Adam teaches music and marching band. William teaches the STEM activities at the elementary school. And then finally, and Nick has already done this, but I would also like to offer my congratulations to the Littlestown football team, Coach Corey Biddle and his staff. They received the 2025 Divisional Sportsmanship Award awarded by the York chapter of the PIAA Officials Organization. That's quite an honor. And then finally, I think I know where the theory on 6-7 comes from. The Lord created the earth in 6 days, and he rested on the 7th.
We finally know the answer.
There you go. There you go.
Thank you, Dr. Moyer. The old business items are noted. Is there any new business to be brought before the board?
Nick, I would like to, oh no, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead. Mr. Sullivan.
Question first, and I don't know if this goes to Tom or Carrie, Ms. Mummer, I apologize. Do we put the individual board members' emails up on the website?
No.
Okay, you know there's a state law where we're supposed to, right?
I follow the direction that I'm given.
Well, under section 329, under the 1949 Code Act 14, it says publication of email addresses for school directors within 180 days of this effective date of this section. Each school director shall establish and publish on its publicly accessible internet website an email address for each member of the board of the school directors, which may be used by members of the public, school district, staff, and students to communicate with individual school directors regarding matters of school district governance, such email addresses such shall be published in a location and manner that are easily visible and accessible to the public.
With the general email, we have is LASD board. Would that cover what you said?
Yes.
That doesn't cover individuals.
You each get that email.
Yeah, if it's a person through the school district.
What if they want to just reach out to an individual board member?
Yeah,
That's a problem.
yeah, then they
If they see my picture and they say, I just want to contact Dwayne Sullivan, I want to talk to him specifically, I don't want to do the whole board, that's what I'm trying to
You're a
say.
board of 9, not.
Doesn't matter, they can still reach out to me, it's legal.
Send us the statute. If you'd like us to take it under further review with Dave, we can. But other than that,
It says, in the law, it says for each member, it doesn't say collectively, for each member of the
we heard
board.
it the first time. So if you want to send it in, like I said, we can take it under advisement and we'll see where we land. Any other new business?
Just one thing, I have a question. I was talking to Mario last week. Did I bully you and give me information?
I did not feel bullied. The reason I shared that was because the previous month, I was requested by a board member for that information, which is why I had it for me. I was a little bit reluctant to share it, but again, when pushed on the matter, it is something for public knowledge, and it falls under sunshine and so on, so I graciously shared the information. And I'd be happy, Mr. Sullivan mentioned he'd like to meet again. Mr. Sullivan, anytime, I would love to have you come in and review anything that we have to offer. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Moore. And next, budget passed. So this is for Mr. Shoemaker. If you're gonna be sharing information on Tuesday, but cyber school reform was, do we have any information about this and what it's gonna do for our district in a positive way?
Yeah, so they did do cyber school reform. What was within is still getting pieced out from PD, but what we know is they're allowing school districts per their tuition rate form, which is what I call the PD 363. They're allowing us as a school district to deduct additional expenses that go towards making up that tuition rate to cyber charter schools. So they added some additional deductions we can have. They also added some stipulations around what average daily membership we can include and not include. So we cannot include the average daily membership that would go to cyber charter school, but we can add the expenses in. So it's kind of both sides of the coin there. They also gave some special ed updates for rates. So it's the lesser of whatever our rate would be for that form, or times a multiple of 1.8 times. Some other things they're going to have is yet to be funneled out to us, but that's kind of what we know at this point in time.
And I would just add to that, Mrs. Ressler, I'm disappointed. I don't think it's going to go as far as we would really like it to go. I would have loved to have seen a flat rate for all 500 school districts instead of 500 variable rates. I feel like we're being overcharged for services. I would have liked to have seen what was suggested in having a tiered special education, a student with a very mild disability compared to someone with many multiple disabilities. It's a game changer in the way of affordability there for districts. I think they fell short in that regard. I will say this, I'm glad now our cyber charters will be required to check on residences a couple of times a year, I believe, twice a year. And they also will be accountable to check in with these kids to make sure that they're somewhat engaged and that they're attending, even though it's virtual, that they're attending. Frankly, I've said this many times over, and I've said it publicly at the Gettysburg School Board meeting, I think it's a substandard education. I think the kids here get a much better education that way. I'm not against using technology or hybrid instructional delivery, but I think if your primary learning mode is 100% virtual, I think you're missing out on a really good education. That's just Al Moyer's personal opinion.
I would say too, I attended a webinar today and they were saying the Special Education Commission opens up again next year. And they're hoping with some of the changes they made this year to cyber school, they will be able to get an inroad into some of that tiered system. So when kids do go and they have just this year kind of gave, you know, a little bit of reform, and then after the commission next year, we might get some more.
Are they looking to mine for data so that they can justify what they do?
Yeah, so we'll have, there's a survey coming out, I think they said in the next few weeks, that I didn't understand if Tom's filling it out or if I'm filling it, or maybe we're doing it together, but we'll have a survey.
They also codified how we do Act 16, so I think some of that's just gonna all push together. Because we're all kind of doing it 3 or 4 different ways that I think are just, once that special ed commission, they'll all mirror up. It's just to get them all to match, just kind of timing.
Tom, while you're on that subject, can you please explain what the ready-to-learn block grant section is? Because that seems to be the highest amount we got.
Yeah, so Ready to Learn, that is a byproduct of the lawsuit, the funding lawsuit. If you remember, the school system, or I should say school system, basic ed was considered unlawful or unconstitutional in how they divvied out money to school districts. That's a direct result from that, so they kind of put it in 2 different buckets. They put it in through the Ready to Learn grant as the vehicle to give that money out. One was through adequacy, so that's directly affecting the students in the classroom, and then one is a tax supplement. Here, our district, we're not eligible for a tax supplement based off of the criteria they set forth, but we are eligible for the adequacy. So that's directly affecting students, and we utilize that towards our mental health initiative. We started under ESSER funding. That takes up the bulk of that Ready to Learn grant that they give out to us.
So Tom, the fact that we don't qualify for the tax part, is that due to population?
I would have to research again what the stipulations were, to be honest
Is
with
it
you.
available?
After we didn't qualify, it's pretty much a trigger once, and you're gonna trigger, the estimate based off the current plan was a 7-year time frame, and once you didn't trigger once, it's kind of a, we weren't ever gonna be eligible type of thing, so I don't.
Just trying to understand why they kicked us out.
But if you do qualify, which we do, that forces us to follow the Act 1 resolution. You cannot go out for exceptions. Since we receive that money, we are locked into not going above our Act 1 index.
The question I bring on that is because I looked at the special ed, and that was what, $316 raise?
Yeah, so special ed is pretty well flat funded.
It's flat funded, but even if you look at the general, the basic education funding, it's $83,263. That doesn't sound like a whole lot.
Dr. Graham and I were just talking about that today. It's, in my opinion, they have moved from funneling into basic ed into the Ready to Learn grant as their way to fund school districts. We used to get that amount of money through basic ed subsidy. Now it's coming up through Ready to Learn, which has a whole different criteria and nuances that we have to, 2 of us have to juggle and make sure we meet those criteria.
So you have to do a whole lot of hoops to make sure that we qualify.
They give us a long list of stuff that qualifies, and then we have to best fit it to educational instruction.
Now, are they doing that to make sure that you're spending the money in the correct place?
I think it's just a direct result from that also, that we can address those concerns that were part of that lawsuit.
And they do track it.
They do, yeah, I was gonna ask that. That was my next question.
Yeah, so we have to submit our proposal, they review it and accept it, and then make sure we're meeting those criteria every year.
So there's stipulations tied to it?
Yes.
Yeah, like tags. Okay, that makes sense, because I was wondering why there was most of the money. The 83,000, that doesn't even, I don't even believe that's gonna touch the 3.1% in PESers that we have to teach. It's not even gonna touch it. So, holy moly, that's about as flat as it gets, but if you look at Gettysburg, it's a lot higher, but I guess because they're a bigger district.
I would say just looking at the data today, Gettysburg doesn't qualify for the Ready to Learn, so they get it.
The other way. Yeah, that's what I thought when I was looking at it. All right.
Any other new business?
Yeah, Dr. Moyer, can you talk about the Christmas tree thing? Because Mr. Lovell and I talked to the mayor at the firehouse on election day, and just wanted to know how that came about.
You know, we were contacted by Mayor Dr. Jen from the borough to partner in 3 different areas, having our students decorate the trees. I believe it was 27, 28, 29 trees that were planted out there at the park. So Carrie and I put out something today, district-wide, I think I may have shared it with the board. I think I did. I'm not 100% sure. So we will be decorating those trees. I think there's even a tree or two designated for the administrative team to try to decorate. We'll see how that goes. All right. We have to make sure there's things that they can't be paper decorations and so on because it's going to be out in the weather. And then I think there's one of the students I think mentioned. What was it, December 6th or 7th, something in the square with the gingerbread or ginger man competition or making Carrie, help me out on this.
Gingerbread house decorating.
Right.
And ornament.
And ornament, yeah, an ornament decoration.
Yeah, so
That's
it's-
at the senior center, I think, but the whole thing's on the website and it's all broken down for you.
Yeah, so we did phone her in. She wasn't available in person to our last admin council meeting, and she did share some details there. We're working out how it might logistically, we might be able to pull that off and so on. But we are 100% all in on partnering with the borough to make sure, or to try to increase the probability that we're going to have some fun time during the holidays. Thanks for that question.
Other new business? I would like to, Mr. Yurk did it earlier, but I would like to thank Mr. Perez for your service on the board the past 3 months. You kind of came out of the woodwork, stepped in for a 3-month vacancy, and I think that I can speak on behalf of everyone that it has been a pleasure getting to know you over the last 3 months. You have been a very positive and steady voice on the board. You've spoken your heart and you voted your conscience, and I have a lot of respect for what you've done in your short time here. And I am hopeful that if we haven't scared you off too much, that you might consider running for election or rejoining the board later down the road. So, thank you so much for your service.
Did you want to say anything?
Speech.
Well, it has been an honor, so I do appreciate your confidence in having me come and help and assist in these last 4 months. But it's been a pleasure.
Thank you. The last thing I'd like to do is I'd like the board members to pull out your calendars for the first 2 weeks of December. Jeannie, Dr. Moyer, and I would like to have a board retreat in the first couple of weeks of December to do goal setting for the new year and do a little bit of additional orientation and stuff like that. So,
Two consecutive days?
no, we're just one, either evening or a Saturday. How much time do we? 3 to 4 hours.
Evenings would be good for me, weekends would be tough.
So we have board meetings, the 1st and the 8th. Do Tuesday nights work
Yes.
well for folks? December 9th? We have a proposal for December 9th. How does that work? Mary?
Sounds okay with
Tentatively. Janelle, you proposed it to your lunch. Donna?
I don't know my calendar either, but I'll down the ninth and let you know. At what time?
December 9th, and starting at, you want to do 5 o'clock?
Put me down here, maybe.
Well, I want to pick a time that everyone can do. Later than 5?
Well, considering I work until 5.
Okay. Like 5:30? 5:30, okay. Steve?
30's fine.
Dwayne?
I'm not sure, I'm gonna have to check my flight schedule. I can't commit to anything right now.
Yeah. So why don't we do this? How about everybody go home, check your calendars. I'm gonna send out an email with the night. If the night doesn't work, we'll pick a date that all 9 board members can make. So we'll have all 9 board members.
Within that 2 week, first 2 weeks.
And this is gonna change the board goals on the website and all that, and the superintendent has to.
So with that, anything else? If not, can I have a motion to adjourn? Second? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed say no. We're adjourned.